Okay, this is just a short video just to show a close-up of the parts, just to show you how thick the layer of rust on here actually is. Just want to get this focused on there. There we go. So you can see it's actually quite thick, and there's quite a lot of rust on there. These parts have got some grime on it, WD-40 and stuff that I sprayed in there to actually loosen the nuts. It's got some paint on here. Yeah. Here you can see as well, it's quite... Okay, here's some more parts. We've got the gear wheel over there. And you can see some more other parts laying on the table there. We've also got the flywheel, and as you can see, all of them are pretty badly rusted. Not sure if this chain is going to come out working, but we'll see what we can do. And yeah, let's just go over. Okay, here's the plastic bucket that I used for the electrolysis. Any plastic bucket will do, just with the adding water in there, normal tap water. Also got the sacrificial anodes in there, and then also got a rod laying over top. I'm going to add some salt, and then make sure to stir that salt into the mixture before you add the parts. That way you don't end up with a solution that's too weak, and that'll speed up the process as well. Just using normal binding wire, MIG welding wire to hang the parts on the rod there, hanger rod that I'm using. Doesn't really matter what wire you use, but try not to mix too many different types of metals in your tank while you're doing this. Stay away from stainless steel, as that'll also release toxic fumes, as I understand. Okay, so you can see me just hanging all the parts in there, making sure the parts doesn't touch each other, and also that the parts are not touching the sacrificial anodes. Just make sure that the anodes are well spaced and that the whole tank gets even coverage. The sacrificial anodes will be connected up in series, so I'm just connecting all of them up with the normal electrical wire, and that'll then become my positive terminal on the battery charger, which you see in the left hand side corner. The rod that I hang the parts on, that'll become the negative connection. Also bear in mind that during this process you will be releasing hydrogen gas, which is kind of explosive, so you might want to do this in a well ventilated area, and in my case I added a fan in the setup just to create some turbulence in the edge, so I can just ensure that there's no gas buildup. Okay, so here you can see the process. This is over a period of about 3 to 4 hours. You can see the rust and stuff coming off into the solution and also bubbling up to the top. You can see the hydrogen gas coming up there, and you can see it's quite, looks like it's boiling, but that's as the gas comes off the parts and releases the rust. Overall, the parts was left in there for about 8 to 10 hours. Okay, so after you take the parts out, you can start cleaning it off. Just takes a wire brush to release all the fine dirt on there that's still stuck. If you do have some rust and stuff stuck inside there, you can always use a screwdriver like I'm using there, and then just getting all the particles and all the stuff that's still attached to the metal off out of the corners. It doesn't take a lot of work. It just takes a little bit of time, and compared to using a wire wheel on a grinder or a flapper disc or something like that to remove the rust, this is definitely way easier. So yeah, not too much problems with that. Okay guys, so yeah, this is the parts after it's been washed off. Basically just used a wire brush. Just used one of these wire brushes and a screwdriver, and any paint that was sticking in corners or anything like that, I would have just taken that out. On here you can see there's still some paint stuck on here, but you know, if it went through all of that without actually coming loose, then I suppose it can stay there. But yeah, I'm actually quite impressed. The bolts that were seized up came loose, so I can actually remove all of this now. So there you can see that actually came loose with not too much effort, and you can actually see the penetration of that electrolysis that actually started loosening up the nut. So, and then you can see these were stuck in there. So that actually came out as well. This one I had to put some pressure on, and I accidentally messed up the thread there, but I'm sure I'll be able to sort that out. It's not too much of a come on, focus now. It's not too much of an issue. I can fix that. And yeah, so everything came out, and quite impressed with how clean this actually came out. I mean, you can see there's a lot of pitting, but I think that's where the rust actually chowed ate away the metal. So that was on there, and that's not due to the electrolysis. So, but it definitely removes all the rust. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just give these. I mean, you know what this looked like. I can just put I'm gonna put another photo side by side of this, so you can just actually have a look at this. So yeah, there you can see, definitely made a huge difference in the steel. And like I said, it was minimal effort in actually cleaning this with a wire brush. Came off actually quite easy. So it's basically ready to paint. I mean, if I had used paint stripper and I've used all others, you know, I really think this is probably the cheapest way that you can ever remove rust off anything. So for future projects, this is probably the way that I'm going to go. Thank you everybody for tuning into the second video. All the parts are now cleaned and we can go ahead putting this thing together. So join me in the third video and we can get this thing running. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe. See you next time.